Lisa Kerwin is from Colchester and is a health and fitness coach and author. You might know her better as This Fit Mum on social media. Lisa is with me now. Morning to you.
Morning, Sonia. Thank you so much for having me on.
You're welcome. Well, let's start with that question then. Why do you think there is a difference?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've supported so many women now, and most of the time, I think it comes down to motivation. But if you dig deeper, I found that one of the elements is time. So a lot of the clients that I work with are mums as well. So they generally work as well. And although we're seeing an amazing shift in the thought process of parental responsibilities, in reality, most cases, I see the burden still falls with mum when it comes to kids. And I mean, just last week I was saying that I needed to give up my job just to keep up with the emails from school, let alone anything else.
Yes, I hear you on that.
And I think, as a working mum, you just don't get a lot of time for yourself. And then also as well, if you do get some time for yourself, if you try and do something, then, if it's for yourself, you feel guilty. And I think on another reason, I think as well for women is the fact there is so much misinformation out there. There's all the studies that are done fitness-wise are based on men, and there's so much industry noise when it comes to diet and fitness and what's best for fat loss, menopause, lower tummy fat, but a lot of this advice comes from, people who aren't qualified to give it on social media and make claims most likely based on male biology or outdated advice. And this comes down to the fact that, the fitness industry hasn't prioritised research on female health because we are so complex. I mean, things are changing. We are getting some more sort of studies coming in on females, but, even stuff about the menopause is only just starting to be researched. And even the menstrual cycle can be a challenge to understand how it affects our energy, cravings and motivation. And with the reward system being so important when it comes to exercise, if we are trying to exercise, say during our luteal phase, the week before our period, and we're not as strong as we normally are, we're hungrier than we normally are, we're more tired than we normally are, if we don't understand that, then I think that's a real easy way to become demotivated quite quickly as well. I think it's quite easy as well to find an excuse as a busy mum. But I think ultimately fitness should be a part of, normal life, because it shouldn't just be about, I think a lot of people see exercise as a way to lose weight or tone up, where in fact, it should be just associated with the fact that our bodies are designed to move. And it doesn't have to be, one size fits all. There's so many different ways you can exercise. It can be, in the gym, it can be, doing some yoga, or even doing, light-saving fitness classes.
Yeah, get your lightsabers. Yeah, this is it. Exactly. I think that's helped massively, hasn't it? And I sort of go back a few years to maybe when we'd be having conversations about women, for example, saying they don't necessarily want to go to the gym. And I think there's been huge progress. There's been sort of women-only gyms, but actually now I think generally gyms where both women and men can go, it's a lot more of an inclusive, inviting space to go as a woman now. So I think gyms have become a lot better. But as you say, it's not just about going and lifting those weights or go pounding on the treadmill in a gym, is it? There's so many other things that you can do.
Yeah, 100%. And I always say as well to people is that, finding something that you enjoy, falling in love with the process, the result of that will be aesthetic. So, if that's your goal, but, finding something that you love, that you enjoy, that you want to keep on going back and keep doing is going to be the best exercise for you, because it's going to be something that you keep going with.
How do you reduce that gap then? Because you've said there's a number of reasons maybe why that gap exists. What do you think needs to happen to narrow that?
I do think a lot of it comes down again to the time element. I think, just looking on my clients where, a lot of them are mums, I coach females and, it's time. It is about prioritizing time and making sure that you make that time for yourself. I think, especially as a mum, you give up your time for everybody else. You're looking after the kids, the home, potentially as well, many of them going to work as well. And it's just people are spinning so many plates. And it's about, making sure that people remember that they're important too. And, finding that reason to do it and to get started, to make sure that we don't just do it for, aesthetic goals, to do it for longevity, to do it for fun, to do it to be strong, to do it to be healthy, and to do it as well for our kids, because when our kids see us working out, studies have shown that actually mums are more influential on their kids when it comes to exercise than dads. And if mums are exercising, kids are going to see that as normal, and they're going to want to do it too. And we all want our kids to grow up and be healthy and active. So if we, it's not just about what we say to do, it's about what we do. It's what, monkey see, monkey do. So I think it's about, so if you can't do it for yourself, I think your kids are a great motivator. They shouldn't be the reason you don't do it, the reason you should do it.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's me told. I'm going to get those dumbbells out later on today. Lisa, thank you for coming on. Lisa Kerwin, who is from Colchester, This Fit Mum on social media. Lisa is a health and fitness coach and author.